Good afternoon to you here on the Rural Radio Network. I'm Bryce Duskett reporting. Joining us over the phone now as we celebrate National FFA Week is Stacey Agnew. She is the Executive Director of the Nebraska FFA Foundation. Stacey, happy National FFA Week. There's a lot of celebrations that FFA members, but also alumni are taking part in throughout the week. So I'm curious, as we start today's conversation on a Wednesday, what are we celebrating?
Yeah, so Wednesday is Advisor Appreciation Day. I think for FFA members and alumni, it's that moment to think, hey, how has your FFA advisor made an impact in you, with you? And I think we can all, those of us that are alumni, can reflect on the time that probably our FFA advisor spent making sure that we were educated and got our degrees in and hauled us to leadership conferences and state conventions and all those things. They really are people that do go above and beyond. So one of our awards that the Nebraska FFA Foundation gives out is called the Helping Hand Award. And we are currently taking nominations for Nebraska FFA advisors who have gone above and beyond, how they've made an impact, not just in their classroom, but in their community. So last year, we had an advisor who served in the National Guard. That was just definitely something where they have served their community and been a leader outside of being a great ag teacher. So encourage people to go to our website and nominate ag teachers for the Helping Hand Award.
Well, Stacey, let's give a little bit of context about the work of the Nebraska FFA Foundation, the work that you do each and every day. Created back in 1990, as I understand it. Foundation, of course, the fundraising arm of the Nebraska FFA Association, which has seen explosive growth over the years. Now some 12,000 FFA members with more than 200 chapters down in the countryside of Nebraska. When it comes to, obviously, there's a lot of success stories, and you all have been generous in supporting our efforts and sharing those, which we appreciate, Stacey. But a lot of these projects we hear about and the success that students have wouldn't be possible without some of the programs that you all have out there of getting people started, whether it's with one of those blue jackets as a freshman or their first year in FFA, or perhaps getting a kickstarter with a supervised agricultural experience. Talk about the work of the foundation.
Yeah, so we support statewide programming for Nebraska FFA. We also support ag teacher programming, and we also support local FFA chapters and student SAEs. Obviously, one of the things you referenced were SAEs, which are supervised ag experiences, which are an important part of the through-cycle model for ag education. So we provide grants to students every year for their SAE grant. We also provide local chapter grants. I'm a former ag teacher, and I remember what it was like to need some additional support to buy curriculum or equipment in the classroom. And so every year we give out about $90,000 in local chapter grants and student SAE grants. And so when I started with the foundation, you referenced when we started in the early 90s, that didn't exist. And when I was an ag teacher in the late 90s, those types of funding sources did not exist. So we are really excited about the impact that we can make, and that's because of donors and supporters all across the state.
Speaking of them, I believe you're getting ready to wrap up a big campaign that you all do. It's the I Believe in the Future of Ag campaign, where you've got matching dollars available as chapters locally will raise funds. Can people still get online and donate to some of their local chapters, Stacey?
They can. Our deadline for this school year is February 28th. People can donate year-round through the I Believe in the Future of Ag campaign, but we kind of try to finish it here in February so that we can recognize chapters at state convention in April. So we have $30,000 in matching funds that are available to support local FFA chapters. So 100% of those donations that are given by people through our foundation for a chapter go back to them, and then we have matching funds on top of it. So it's just a win-win all the way around. I really encourage people to utilize that program to support their local FFA chapter.
Earlier, I referenced the growth of the Nebraska FFA, not just in Nebraska, National FFA, now more than 1 million members all
I know.
across.
Isn't that cool?
It is unbelievable, Stacey, as I say
Yeah.
that figure out loud. When it comes to FFA, there has to be something special about this organization. Have you been able to put your finger on it over the years of why people get interested in joining FFA?
When I think here in Nebraska, we are an ag state, and we are full of rural communities in greater Nebraska. And so I do think for students in communities, it makes them feel like they're part of a group. I just think it's all about young people finding a place they belong. And I think that's what our FFA chapters do for students.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Stacey Agnew, the Executive Director of the Nebraska FFA Foundation, has been our guest as we continue our celebrations around here of National FFA Week. Here on the Rural Radio Network, I'm Bryce Duskett reporting.